I am satisfied. I like how I entered the match today. Good intensity, great first set. Obviously, didn't want to, in a way, repeat the first set or first couple of sets from the third round, where I was a little bit flat, I would say, and wasn't bringing the intensity that I brought tonight, and that made a difference. Especially in the first set. Second set was quite close. He made an early break. I came back. Obviously one of the keys to the win today was try to neutralize his serve, get as many serves back in play as possible, make him run, make him tired. He's a big guy. Obviously moves well for his height, but he's not maybe the best mover. So I knew that's where tactically my chance is, and I think I've done well, particularly in the second and third set. In some key moments, I've, held my nerve. I served well and read his serve, made him play always an extra shot. So I'm pleased to go through in straights.
Great. Congratulations once again. In English, we'll take several questions before we get to Serbian. One question each. If I can get around to follow up, I will. Andrew, you can lead off.
Andrew Jones, ESPN and Skate. Novak, congrats on the win. Before we talk about Borna and how maybe Victor helped with the tactics with coaching Hamad, Aaron Rodgers here tonight and giving you all the love and then some. The latest legend to meet a legend like you, as well as you being friends with Zlatan and getting a heart emoji from Zlatan. Probably the only person ever. And then the celebrations with Nikola Jokic and him celebrating not only NBA title but horse racing. You talk about those relationships there with Aaron tonight.
No, of course. I mean, it's a pleasure to have Aaron in the stands tonight for the match. I hope he enjoyed himself. Obviously, him, Tom Brady, being in my box for Roland Garros finals and sitting next to my wife was a huge honor. I have a relationship with Tom. For several years, we go back. I have tremendous respect for him. His longevity, I feel like his way of approaching recovery is something that I feel like is a subject that interests us both, and we spoke a lot on that topic, and hopefully we will more pick each other's brains more in the future. I try to maintain and nurture relationships with athletes from different sports because as an athlete, of course, I relate to them. I identify myself with what they are doing, and I can understand the pain, the sacrifice, the dedication. I respect the greatness, especially the guys who have made it to an all-time great level in their respective sports. Those are kind of people that you want to be around. You want to learn things from them because you never know. There are things that can be so inspirational as they are, in my relationship with Tom and Zlatan, of course, my favorite football player, no doubt, soccer as you call it here. And his Balkan mentality is something that is very familiar to me. Let's say, even though maybe it looks weird to the rest of the world, but I understand him very, very well, and I've known him for the last 15 years. So, Nikola Jokic, you mentioned him, best basketball player in the world at the moment, incredible guy. Just everyone is so amazed with his skills and with his talent and what he does on a basketball court. I'm not a basketball expert, so I can't really talk about his game so much, but I'm a huge fan. Obviously, a Serbian basketball player coming from Serbia and dominating the NBA is something that doesn't happen very often. I think it never happened in the history of our basketball in Serbia that we had the best basketball player in the NBA. So that's amazing, and we all love him, support him. Currently, there's a World Championship in basketball happening. We're in quarters, so I follow that. I try to stay up to speed with all the happenings in sports. Volleyball, track and field World Championship was some weeks ago. So of course I follow because that's my sector. That's my kind of field of life, and I understand that what they are going through, and I admire a lot of them.
Good. Howard.
Novak, Howard Fendrich with the Associated Press. if you keep winning, you'll play 2 Americans in the next 2 matches. I'm wondering, first, what are your thoughts on seeing that sort of production from this country, which hasn't happened in a while on the men's side? And also, when you do play someone in their home country, what is that dynamic like for you? And can there be such a thing as a bit of a home court advantage when there are thousands of people pushing?
Well, I assume there's going to be, more support for Taylor Fritz in our next match, and obviously eventually if I win to play or Shelton or Tiafoe in the semis, but it's expected. We're in America playing against home players. It's something that I would be surprised if it's otherwise, to be honest. So I know what I'm expecting, and I'm going to get ready for that mentally. And again, matches are only going to get tougher from now on. It's quarterfinals of a slam. I think it's important for a very big and important country in the tennis world, like America is, to have 3 tennis players from America in quarterfinals of a slam. It's important for this tournament. This is one of the 4 majors, one of the 4 most important events in history of our sport. And, America has had some all-time greats, Pete Sampras, Agassi, McEnroe, Roddick, Connors, incredible players over the years. And then, of course, when you're used to champions and number ones in the world and Grand Slam winners, then anything except that is not a success, right? So it's a very high standard and criteria for these guys to meet. But you had players that were top 10, like John Isner, after Andy Roddick, but then if he didn't win a slam, then people think it's kind of failed career, which is something I don't agree with. But again, I understand because America is such a big country in tennis. So I'm sure there's a lot of excitement about Americans being so successful lately. And Tiafoe played semis last year, so things are moving on. Tommy Paul faced me in the semis of Australian Open this year, so I think it's great. It's great that Ben Shelton, for example, a player who came from college tennis, is playing on the highest level, producing some amazing tennis. I think it's a great message for all the players who want to go to college, but then still, keep on playing professionally. It proves that it is possible, which maybe up to 15, 20 years ago, it was completely different. I think, especially I remember from my region, whoever goes to college, that's it, goodbye professional career. But, I think the college level, tennis level has increased incredibly, and Ben is a great example of that. So, I think it's great. It's great for attention towards the tennis, towards US Open. It's important that we have American players doing well.
Okay. Last question in English, Willie.
Willie Weinberg from ESPN. You touched for a moment on facing Taylor Fritz. What has been the key, do you think, to your success against him, and what does he need to do to have a chance against you?
I'm not going to talk about what he needs to do to have a chance against me. I'm sure he's going to try to figure that out with his coach. I'm going to get ready, obviously, for that match as any other match. Doing my analytics and watching the last match we had against each other just a few weeks ago in Cincinnati, where I played a really, really, really good, really solid match and won in straight sets. So I'll take some positives out of that. And we know each other's game pretty well. I've played him quite a few times actually in the last couple of years. So big game. Serve and forehand are 2 biggest weapons, no doubt. But he has improved so much. He's also playing very well on clay. Which maybe wasn't the case in the first years of his professional career. But he's working hard and he's got a great coach in his corner. So I'm sure he's going to be very pumped and motivated to win. It's going to be a great atmosphere on the stadium, I'm sure, and let's see what happens.